There's a lot that I would like to do to build on the successes of President Obama, but also, as I'm laying out, to go beyond. And that's in my economic plans, how I would deal with the prescription drug companies, how I would deal with college, how I would deal with a full range of issues that I've been talking about throughout this campaign to go further.
Hillary Clinton at Tuesday night's debate promising to continue the policies of the Obama administration and then some. So are Democrats offering anything new heading into 2016? So, James, the interesting thing I found from that debate about the Democratic priorities, they think the economy is lousy. Time and again, they said middle class is taking on the chin, that the rich are benefiting. This is after 7 years where they've held the White House. Is that good politics? Why are they doing it?
Yeah, it's odd. I mean, you look at the performance here, and she talks about in that clip building on the successes, 1970s levels of people in the workforce.
But she also made
slow growth in wages.
But she made the case also that the inequality is terrible and growing. She basically echoed that, and the others, Martin O'Malley, Bernie Sanders, the others said that the middle class is just getting crushed.
Yeah, so it's a fundamental disconnect where they're saying how much they appreciate what the president has done and want to take it even further, while also saying the economy is terrible. This is a message that I think they have to be careful. It is it was obviously very popular in that room the other night with partisan Democrats, and the hardcore is no doubt on board. I think for independents, this is going to be a very tough sell, and it raises a question of why she's going so far to the left. And after this debate, she may decide that there's not much competition, and now she can come back to the middle.
So the argument is things are lousy, but it's not our fault.
That's exactly right. I mean, they've got to make that argument. But, you know, I keep saying, Paul, I'm convinced the modern Democratic Party literally no longer understands how the private economy works. It is a complete abstraction to them. So their solution is to do more of the same, which is more state policy to force the economy to perform. Minimum wage, $15, more regulation, and policies like that. And how do you pay for all this? By taxing. As Bernie Sanders said, he was going to put a tax on Wall Street speculation to pay for tuition-free college. It's preposterous.
Well, the French tried that transaction tax, and it didn't work because it didn't raise the revenue that they thought it would. Kim, so where is Hillary Clinton differing from President Obama on domestic issues?
She's not in too many ways. I think what's basically going on here is that this is also a bit of an excuse, and we shouldn't forget that. The Democratic Party has moved left under Barack Obama. They want to be able to grow government even larger than it is. They took over the healthcare industry. They'd like to take over the energy industry. And so what they're doing is basically saying, we'll give you more free, more government regulations, more control. And I think by talking about some of these topics too, like global warming, it's a way of moving away from that message, as you were just expressing, this complicated message they have about trying to explain how it is that the economy is terrible and it's not their fault.
The other thing I noticed, James, climate change is the new health care. If regulating the health care economy was the priority in 2008, the energy economy is the target now, using climate change as the method.
Yeah, and again, this is why I think Hillary does have to wonder, beating these basically weak contenders on the stage. Doesn't mean that she's crafting a message that the whole country will buy into. Now, we heard recently from a former Obama campaign staffer saying, believe it or not, the Obama coalition was not that ideological, that a lot of the people who showed up for him who normally don't vote were people who were excited about his candidacy. But she is going even further.
But I have to tell you, if the Republicans are not able to make the case on the economy, she could get away with it. I think if they make a huge mistake, Dan, if they underestimate Hillary Clinton as a candidate. She was very effective in that debate. She will have her message down. She will try to walk this balance between making the case that President Obama has done everything he possibly could, and it's worked so well, if not for those Republicans in Congress.
Oh, I completely agree. Okay. The basic factor is that there is a great amount of economic anxiety and angst out in the public. That doesn't mean the public literally blames the Democrats for that. They're looking for an answer, and if she presents one that is more rhetorically convincing than the Republicans, sure, she's going to get their votes.
Kim, briefly, you think Joe Biden's going to get in?
I don't know. She looked very strong up there on the stage, and she also boxed him in a little bit in that she's clearly looking for places where she can be different, and he will not be able to because he's going to have to carry on the Obama legacy.
All right. When we come back, progressives step up their campaign to silence critics. A think tank scholar is the latest victim. Our climate change dissenters next.